you know, a big, famous man with a huge, I don't know, but I mean, I'm guessing he probably, he's a big, but I've learned my lesson. Now, I'd never dead name her now. Now I know it's wrong, I'd never dead name her now. But like years ago, when, you know, she was a man, no, because years ago, I'm saying, right, and she went to the doctor, right, and knocked on the door, and the doctor went, come in. This is years ago. I was saying, I'd never dead name her now, but this is like a flashback before anyone, do you know what so, like, come in, and he went, hello, Bruce Jenner, because that was his name then. The doctor, you know, this was years ago, and the doctor went, oh, I'm Bruce Jenner, you big old, how you doing, boy, you fucker, how you doing? You big old lump. Oh, how you doing, boy? Come here, you fucker. How you doing, Brucey boy? You all right? Right? And Bruce Jenner, because that was his name, this is years ago, right? So Bruce Jenner went, yeah, not too bad, doctor, yeah. Not too bad, right? And I was like, what can I do for you, Bruce? You fucker, how you doing, boy? And Bruce Jenner went, because that was his name. Bruce Jenner went, look at that. And they went, oh, come on, Bruce Jenner, you know the rules. He uses his whole name every time for some reason, I don't know why. Come on, Bruce Jenner, you fucker, you know the rules. You can't bring your big old pole vaulting pole in here, mate, you know. And Bruce Jenner went, no, that's not my pole vaulting pole, that's my enormous penis. And I thought, oh, right, yeah, seeing as it is your penis, you can bring it in here, but you should have left your shot puts outside. And Bruce Jenner went, that was his name for 58 years, I think. He went, no, they're not my shot puts, they're my enormous testicles. That's where I keep my testosterone and my spunk and shit, right? And the doctor went, oh, yeah, that makes perfect. I'm a medical man, and that you're a big bloke. Oh, you fucker. How you doing, boy? You're a big... You're big, and you would have a big old cock and balls. They're beautiful. They're a bit familiar. And I go, no, but you must be very proud of them, Bruce. Bruce Jenner went, oh, this is going to surprise you, doctor. I want to get rid of them. And the doctor went, what? Why? Ah, they get in the way. Get in the way of what? Fucking driving, for one thing. So I'm engaging these people, and I'm saying, but I had to say her old away, then have a laugh. That was the men. The women carried on working, obviously. But it was my older brother, Bob, who was about 11 years older than me, and it was him who I first saw making these dark jokes right in the bad situation. While the bad things were happening, he was making jokes about it, and people were laughing, and I realised, oh, he's healing them. That's what comedy's for. That's what humour's for. It gets us over bad stuff, right? Typical Bob story. He once spent an hour in the pound shop in Hayling Island just asking the cashier how much everything was. Just to see if he could break this poor man's will. Right? And Bob was the first person I saw answer back to authority, and the first authority you come across are your parents, right? And he'd have an argument, he'd get in trouble, he'd get sent to bed, right? But I thought, no, he won the argument, though, right? And he teased my mum, and... So my mum was a typical working-class woman, I think, in that, as I say, we lived in a shitty area, right? And most of the houses had, like, a bit of mud and a stolen bike and fence posts missing. She mended the fence, she turfed the garden herself, she painted the step, because she thought, if it looked respectable, we'd be respectable. So it was about reputation, I guess. And so Bob would send her postcards that just read, is that paedophile postman still reading your mail? And she'd take it and she'd go in and she'd be horrified and she'd call Bob and go, Bob, he saw it this time, you've got to stop doing that. Even at her funeral, my mum died first, and my dad carried on for a year or so, just drinking beer in the garden, and he went, right? But for my mum's funeral, we sort of split up into different duties. I went and did sort of catering and flowers, and Bob went to see the local vicar. That was a mistake, right? We'd never been to church. He didn't know us. We didn't know him. So he just said to Bob, tell me about your mum so I can say a few words. And Bob saw that as an opportunity, right? So Bob, with a straight face, said to him, well, she was a keen racist. And the vicar went, oh, I can't say that. Bob went, OK, but she liked gardening, right? And he was trying to get something past the vicar, so the vicar would say something and make us laugh in church. He didn't warn us, right? And he did get something by the vicar. So we're called Ricky, Robert, Bob, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Larry. Now, Larry is the oldest. He's in his 70s, born in the war, right? I've always thought he was the sensible one, OK? I suppose firstborn, weight of the world on his shoulders. In fact, my mum told me that when he was a teenager, he got a job and he gave her the money to bring up the rest of us, to help out, right? So he's a stand-up guy, Larry, right? So Bob gives the vicar the wrong name. Didn't warn us. We're all in church, right? Start of the funeral, we're all there, right? Packed out, right? The coffin comes down, guided by the vicar, the coffin gets out. The vicar goes to his pulpit, all confident with his little notes, right? And he goes, Eva leaves behind 4 loving children, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Barry. And we snort like that, right? Bob sort of goes, looks around. Everyone realised what's that. We were all fucking laughing. We see Larry go, right? And the church is like... Every time we thought of it, people would we'd see Larry go... right. And then it would just start giggling, just fits and fucking giggles, right? And then Larry eventually sort of started doing this, right? And the vicar's thinking, what have I said, right? And he put in a few little things that the vicar wouldn't know about that he said would set us off again, just things that were just lies or just slightly wrong. And my niece and nephew started crying, and I'd come prepared, right, with a little packet of those tissues. I was giving them those, and they were taking one and handing it on. But before the funeral, I'd taken all the tissues out, written on them, carefully folded them back and put them in. So they were pulling out a tissue and it said, snivelling fucking bitch, right? And they're sort of laughing, right? So it was like a madhouse, right? Everything the vicar said or did, we all started just fucking laughing, right? And you could see the vicar was visibly sort of shook a little bit, right? And he ended the funeral and he made a beeline over for me and Bob, right? And he came and said, sorry, was that okay? And me and Bob went, it was fucking brilliant, mate. It was fucking brilliant, mate. And that's what I'm talking about. We're all gonna die, so we should have a laugh, because if you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof, okay? And me and my brother Bob had one simple rule, and that was, if you think of something funny, you've got to say it, right? Win, lose, or draw, right? It might go well. It might go badly, but you've got to say it. And bear that in mind as I leave you with this. Right. So, we're all in the car one day, right? Bob's driving, we're packed in this car, going for a little day trip to the beach, right? And we get stopped, a little security check, right? And there's a British Bobby there, like that, and he just stops the car. Bob winds down the window, he said, where are we off to then? Bob went, Bognor. Right? He went, can you just pop the boot, please? So he looks there, looks in the boot like that, yeah, like, goes back up to Bob's window, gets that mirror on a stick thing, and he starts just looking under the car like that. And as he does that, his helmet falls off, right? And out of the helmet falls a packet of 20 cigarettes. And the copper just went, oh, I bet it... Now, admittedly, when I first got on Twitter, I pushed my agenda a little bit. I was an outspoken atheist, not because I thought I'd change anyone's opinions, but because I thought it was important to tell the other side, you know. There are still 13 countries where people are put to death just for being an atheist, and there's people bullied, and I just wanted to say, it's fine to be an atheist, it's fine to believe in God, and it's fine not to. That's all I was saying, really. And then I realised I didn't even have to tweet about religion or atheism. I could just tweet a fact, and that annoyed just the right people, right? I tweet things like, happy birthday, Earth, 4.6 billion years old today. And someone would always go, oh, we know what you're fucking doing, we know what you're doing, right? So this is a tweet I got from someone after one of those, I assume, right? And it was all in capitals, which excited me. That's the sign of Twitter madness, mixed with anger. It's great, right? And I looked at his profile, and sure enough, he's a gentleman from Texas. He's a fundamentalist, creationist Christian, right? Which is fine. He loves God. He loves God and fetuses, mainly. He loves the fetus from conception to when it turns out gay. And then he's... Right, so remember, it's all in capitals. He's shouting at me, right? Best tweet ever, right? Your science, my science, right? Science, by the way, is spelled S-C-I-E-N-T-S. Already good, isn't it? I mean, he's obviously heard the word. He took a guess. Never seen it written down, because it's not in the Bible. So he's... Your science won't help you. Well, it will. It's helping him beam this little message up to a satellite and down to me. Your science won't help you when Satan... Of course he believes in Satan. Why wouldn't he? He believes that God made the universe in 6 days. You're not going to say to him, do you believe in Satan? And he's going to say, bit far-fetched. Why doesn't God kill Satan? That's what I'd ask him. If I was wrong and I met God and I go, oh, you do exist. He'd go, yeah. I go, well, in which case, I've got a few fucking questions, mate. In fact, the first one would be, why did you make chocolate kill dogs? What's... mental. Also, if you hate homosexuality so much, why did you put the male G-spot up the arse? What is wrong with you? Then I'd say, why don't you kill Satan? And he'd go, what? I go, why don't you kill Satan? If he does all the bad stuff and you do all the good stuff, yeah, and you want good stuff, yes, yeah. I mean, you do want, yes, yeah. And you could kill him, couldn't you, if you wanted? Yes, because you can do anything easy, yeah. Why don't you kill him then? Because... Shut up. Your science won't help you when Satan is raping your British ass. And he's got a point. Because if I die and I find myself in hell being raped by Satan, science has pretty much let me down. But it's this last line that he just throws away. This line that he signs off with makes this the best tweet I've ever received, right? Your science won't help you when Satan is raping your British ass. I'll be laughing. So, he's there too. So he's a fundamentalist Christian who's lived his life by the Old and New Testament. He dies, he wakes up in hell, right? Which must be off the charts on the scale of emotional trauma for a Christian. You want to go, oh my God, I'm in hell. Oh my God, why have you forsaken me? I'm in hell, it's the worst place. No, it's for eternity. I'm going to be tortured for eternity. He sees me getting raped, goes, What, he's suddenly over it, is he? His day suddenly got a little bit brighter, right? And like he's not next, right? So he says, I'm getting raped, right, by the devil, right? And he's just there, you fucking atheist scum, right? And I'm like, yeah, whatever, right? Because I mean, I assume it happens it's like an eternity, so I'm, yeah, whatever, go on your fear. I might say, watch your hooves on my testicles, And he'll go, why are they so distended? And I go, oh, like you're Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? Sorry, are we talking or raping here? Can we... So he's like, you fucking atheist.